Hey folks, if you're watching this, you probably already know what these guys are. They're the modular boxes, toolboxes from Ridgid. There's a whole bunch of different ones out there, including the pack out from Milwaukee. So I decided to go with these guys. Great price point, good construction. It's a simple latching system. But this video is not going to go through all the details of that. There's plenty of good ones out there. I mostly kind of want to show what you're able to put into these, because when I was looking into the system, my goal was to take all the tools that I have currently in my regular rolling tool chest and see if I can actually squish it into these systems. I'm trying to downsize right now. Garage space might be changing, so I needed something a little bit more space efficient, if you will. So I decided to look into these things, but I had a lot of questions about whether or not I was going to fit into this. And just to kind of give you an idea of where I'm coming from, I'll kind of scan over here. So this is my US General tool chest that I have now. You guys probably know what these are. They're from Harbor Freight. Great build quality, by the way. They work excellent. I've had it for about a year. Drawers are super smooth, handle a lot of weight. But it takes up quite a bit of space, right? I can't remember what the size of this. I think it's like 36 inch or something like that. So anyways, it was pretty full. I had most of the stuff out of this now and into the Ridgid boxes. I have to say, like, the Ridgid boxes actually came through and ends up holding quite a bit of stuff. So let's dive in and just see what's in here. Pop this open here. So I'll just go through some of the compartments. You can see I've got towels all over the place. Let me get rid of this. By the way, I drove around with this in the back of my Tacoma just to see how much it would bounce around, and it's been pretty good, actually. It wasn't too bad. So I've got really big impact drivers. This is, again, one of those sets from Harbor Freight. So that fit into that, and you can see there's quite a bit of room still. This is a set of files that I'm wrapped up in towels, and then we got sockets. Again, these are ones that are not as commonly used. They're either really big metric ones or some standard ones, and spark plug and what have you. This is a Tacoma filter, casing remover, what have you. So that's that drawer. We go to this one. Oops, actually jammed here. I'll show you what's in here. Get rid of these towels. So this is how I have mine configured. I got the dividers this way, and then I have the small dividers just on the front of 3 of them. And so what I have in here is 1/4-inch drive sockets, metric and standard. There's 2 layers in there. Got my ratchets. I don't have a ton, but plenty. This is everything I ever use, basically the wrench on the vehicles, and there's just some standard ones. So if you guys are familiar with these that you can get from Harbor Freight or anybody else, they're much longer, right? One of the things about this drawer system that I wish it could do is to have a divider going widthwise as opposed to lengthwise, because I had to cut these down. Not a big deal, it's just plastic. But if it was able to go widthwise, I wouldn't have to do that and just kind of lay it out this way. But this actually works out well. It keeps it into more of a small form. But this, what you see in this drawer, is literally all the ratchets that I've ever used in the various sizes of sockets and what have you. And you can see I still have an extra compartment because this is just the dividers that I'm not using right now. Okay, so that's that layer. I'll have to do something about that so it doesn't catch. And then the top is all of my wrenches. And again, this is pretty much everything that I use. I don't really keep standard wrenches because everything I wrench on is metric. and you can see it's not even half filled, I would say. And there's still plenty of space. So that's this box, this drawer box, and that took care of, again, sockets, wrenches. There's space in there for screwdrivers if I have to. So that's that piece. So let's move over to this box and I'll show you what's in here. For this one, I'm gonna pop open my lid. Oh, by the way, before I do that, so I have a 3rd gen Tacoma, and I've got a Diamondback cover, as you can see, and there's still some space on top of that where I can slide in. I have a portable solar panel, so that can go up there. So you can see 2 of these boxes fit side by side just fine in the back of this thing. Now, I don't plan to actually drive around with this because it's a lot of weight. I just don't need that to be portable. However, if you need to have it basically be portable, just know in the back of something like a mid-sized truck, totally fits just fine. Okay, anyways, let's go ahead and pop this lid and see what's inside of this. This is the box that comes with the rolling cart. And I can't remember what they call it. I think they call it a medium or a large or something like that. Actually, I have to pull this out. I'll pause here for a second. All right, there we go. I didn't want to have to pop this lid open all the way, so I just kind of scooted it forward. So let's pop this open and see what's inside. This is the accessory box. It's just some random precision tools and motorcycle things. That's like a chain alignment tool from the bike. So we'll pop this out. So a couple first impressions of this box is I like it because besides the well construction and what have you, right? It's like a really deep, almost like small ammo box or gun case. So it's constructed really well, and there's a lot of volume in here compared to this, because this is all dead space, right? Like that. I wish there was a flip up, but this is dead space. So, and the drawers, as you can tell, they're not terribly wide. They're fine for fitting in everything that I have, but this, on the other hand, is, you know, it's just one big open space. So, but the problem is, I don't have a lot of big things that I'm gonna put in here, like circular saws and what have you, right? So, and I don't want just my tools flying around everywhere. So, Ridgid currently doesn't have a lot of internal organizers for this system. They have this, but that's about it. And frankly, finding one of these things is actually kind of a pain. I realized you can't just go to Home Depot and get this. You have to kind of order it, and I don't even see it on Home Depot's website. Actually, I think you have to. There's some folks that sell it on eBay and what have you, but this is only good for obviously organizing this top part, but I wanted something to organize all the parts on the bottom. So I'll tell you what I've got here going on. Pop out my torque wrench. These are the medium-sized Harbor Freight small parts organizer. They are 10 3/4 inch across from here there, and it fits just about exactly in this space. Okay, so you can just grab a bunch of these and then stack them, and these are great. They're actually, as you can see what's inside, I'm gonna pop it open, right? I've got another, this is one of those, like I don't know what you call them, the poke through socket sets. So I've got that. I've got some hole drill, sorry, long morning. So I've got this, and then this one's got drill bits, it's got center punches and what have you. So I've got this going on. I've got a tap kit, I've got snap-on ratchets, hole saw. So this is all pretty well organized, right? Nothing's gonna flop around. So this is what I wanted to point out. These are like, I don't know, $7 or something like that from Harbor Freight. I'll post the link for what size this is. But this, again, this width here, or length, is pretty much exactly or just inside of the case width. So there's not a lot of jostling around. They don't exactly fit 2 on 2. I kind of had to stagger it, so I've got some other things underneath that kind of raised it up, but that's a pretty good fit, and they're cheap. And what this does, these come with a bunch of dividers, so if you really want to divide it up for small parts or small tools, you can. Pop this open. Show you what I've got. Is hole saws, drills, what have you. So really inexpensive option for creating an organizing system inside of these Ridgid boxes. It's obviously not from Ridgid, but just as well. Very cost effective. I've got another one down there for a lot of wrenches and stuff that I need, but I don't use often, so I just kind of keep it there on the bottom. Anyways, yeah, I hope this gives you guys some ideas about how to organize the insides of one of these things without just having your tools flop around. Especially when you have small things like this, right? You don't want it just kind of floating around and have to dig through it. So just one way to go about it. I hope at some point maybe Ridgid will come up with their own system that drops into these with a much more perfect fit. But for now, this takes care of it pretty well. So anyways, that's a quick tour, or well, not that quick, I guess, but that should give you an idea of all the contents that I've got in there. It's quite a bit of stuff. And this, basically everything that you just saw was essentially consuming about 80% of this chest. So I was able to get, and I still have room in that big box, but basically I was able to take just about everything out of this chest and put it into those. Oh yeah, and last but not least, I got one of these as well. This will be for power tools, batteries, charger, etc. But this, of course, snaps into that system. So once I land where I'm going to be, I can put it all together into one solid system. And again, I can roll it around with that cart. So pretty cool system, and pretty happy with the fact that despite its smaller size, it's actually pretty usable in terms of space. I think at some point I'll probably get another one of the 3-drawer chests, just for some additional tools and parts. Yeah, but for now, I think takes care of all this pretty well. Again, hopefully this gives you guys some kind of idea of its usage, and we'll see you on the next one.